My name is Leonard Gorgoren, and I'm a resident of Lemolo village in Kenya. Lemolo community is a young community that was established in the year 2012. Initially, the community were internally displaced persons who were evicted by the government from Mau Forest in an initiative to conserve Mau Forest. The community was then relocated by the government in this new farm. We are calling it Lemolo. Earlier on, when we were settled, the greatest challenge, and it was a major one, was the issue of shortage or completely absence of water from within the Lemolo community. The nearby source of water was a temporary water that used to have surface run of water flowing through it. And especially during the dry season, you usually find it dry completely. The only spots that were of hope and was the source of water for the community along the dry river were some small spots where it could hold water, and we used to call them the holes of hope. And what the community used to do is to scoop out sand so that water can trickle. So once the water has trickled into the small hole, you use a cup to fetch water from the gap. You transfer it into a container. So people used to queue, long queues of water containers or of people waiting for the water to trip in or to sip into that particular small hole. And it was really a great challenge because people used to take long time before they can actually get that particular water. Another source of water is a permanent river, but the permanent river itself is located close to 9 kilometers away from the community. That one was another hope where people could travel such a distance to and fro. So it is 9 kilometers to and 9 kilometers from, covering a distance of around 18 kilometers in a day for them to get water. You could realize that it could take hours and hours and hours before one can have water to use in the home. So it was a real big challenge, and it was paralyzing everything. The search of water was affecting almost all sectors of socio-economic development within the community. Not schooling was spared, farming was not also spared. Other duties that people had to attend, including farming, was also affected greatly. People could not go to look for jobs because the only source of livelihood that was available for the community was to go into sisal plantation to do casual jobs. So you could realize that people are bed, or they stay, instead of going to look for casual jobs to support the family, they use the time to go and search for water. So ideally, or the bottom line of everything is that the greatest challenge was for the community to get water, and it was really costing them. Not young children, not women, not men were spared. It was actually affecting everybody in the community. I think way back at around 2019, the whole idea now of drilling a pole for Lemolo community came in. Through the organization, the local organization known as Victor, with Kids Initiative, the idea just came in. And because this was just the most priority and the most need for the community. So the project, the drilling of the borehole, began in 2020, at around mid-2020, and it became fully operational at around the month of August 2020, where the borehole now was drilled. And it was a good hope and joy, and it was like a celebration for the community and a success for the community, because the borehole was drilled and it was of great value because the borehole was able to get water from the borehole. We know of a number of attempts that had been done earlier, even by the government, to drill water for Lemolo community, and the borehole were not successful. So this one was a success because the water was hit, and After drilling it, we can now have water that is being used by the community. In fact, the water is now becoming the major source of water, not only for the Lemolo community, but also for other neighboring communities. And there's a lot of successes that is attributed to this particular borehole. One is that the water is now serving, or it's a main source of water for more than 6,000 persons. That is from within Lemolo and out communities outside Lemolo. This one now is the only main source of human usable water. The borehole also has addressed so many other socioeconomic challenges. People now not need to stay at home to look for